Imagine living in a country that once ruled a quarter of the world, where the sun never set on its empire, and now people are struggling to make ends meet. Healthcare is collapsing, and the streets are plagued with violence. What happened? How did the UK go from global dominance to the brink of collapse? Today, we are diving deep into the UK's current crisis. A country that once stood as the most powerful empire in the world is now facing some of its darkest days. From crippling debt and soaring inflation to a crumbling healthcare system, things aren't looking good for the UK. But how did it get this bad? What mistakes led to this downfall? And most importantly, can the UK turn it around? So let's start the video. If you're still using old earphones to listen to this video, it's time for an upgrade. I recommend the Tozo A1 Mini wireless earbuds. Users love the sound quality, comfort, and value for money. They are great for podcasts, YouTube videos, and everyday use. Plus, they are easy to pair and durable. If you're looking to upgrade, check out the affiliate link in the pinned comment. Now back to the video. The United Kingdom was once the biggest empire the world had ever seen. You have probably heard the saying that the sun never sets on the British Empire. And that wasn't just a catchy phrase, it was reality. From India to Africa, North America to Oceania, Britain's empire stretched across continents, dominating global trade, culture, and politics. At its height, in the early 20th century, it controlled over 25% of the world's land area and population. The sheer size of the British Empire meant that when the sun set on one colony, it was still shining on another. But fast forward to today, and the UK is in a completely different position. The sun might still rise and set on the UK, but it's facing what some call its darkest hour. Now let's talk about the UK's current situation. It's no secret that things are bad, and many argue the country is on the brink of collapse. So what's going on? The UK's debt is climbing at an alarming rate. In fact, as of late 2024, public sector debt has reached over 100% of GDP. That's trillions of pounds the country owes. And let's not forget about inflation. It's the highest it's been in decades. Prices of essentials like food, housing, and energy are soaring, while wage growth isn't keeping up. You've probably heard people say they feel poorer despite working the same jobs. Well, that's the inflation squeeze in action. The streets of UK cities are seeing rising homelessness. More and more families are finding themselves without a place to stay due to the economic downturn and unaffordable housing. And with poverty often comes violence. Gang activity is rising, especially in urban areas, making safety a growing concern for many communities. This might surprise you, but people are actually leaving the UK in significant numbers. Professionals, students, and even retirees are seeking better economic opportunities abroad. High living costs, lack of job security, and overall dissatisfaction with the country's direction are driving this migration. This brain drain isn't helping the UK's already struggling economy. One of the most visible signs of the UK's decline is the state of its healthcare system. The NHS, once a symbol of national pride, is under massive strain. Long waiting times, underfunding, and staff shortages have left patients suffering. You hear stories of people waiting months for surgeries or even basic appointments. For many, it feels like the healthcare system is crumbling alongside the economy. Let's get to the root of the problem. Why is the UK in such a mess? The issues didn't appear overnight, they have been building for years. One of the most significant turning points was Brexit. In 2016, the UK voted to leave the European Union, and that decision has had ripple effects across the economy ever since. At first, Brexit was framed as a way to regain control over borders, laws, and money. But leaving the EU also meant losing access to the largest single market in the world. UK trade, particularly in goods, has suffered as a result. Meanwhile, sectors that relied on free movement of labor like agriculture and healthcare are grappling with shortages of workers. Brexit wasn't just an economic hit, it threw the UK's political scene into chaos. Since 2016, the country has had 5 different prime ministers, each one struggling to unite a deeply divided population. This political instability has worsened economic uncertainty, deterring investment and slowing growth. Another major issue is short-termism in government policy. The UK has suffered from a lack of long-term planning for years. Whether it's housing, healthcare, or education, policies have often been reactive rather than proactive. The result, a nation struggling to keep up with modern challenges. While some point to Brexit as the pivotal moment, others argue that the UK's problems started even earlier. The 2008 financial crisis, for example, hit the UK hard, and the austerity measures that followed left deep scars. Public services were cut, and the gap between rich and poor widened. The UK has never fully recovered from that economic shock. Now that we have diagnosed the problem, what can the UK do to pull itself out of this crisis? Rejoin or strengthen relations with the EU. Many experts suggest that rebuilding trade relations with the EU or even rejoining the single market could help stabilize the UK economy. While politically divisive, stronger EU ties could boost exports and reduce labor shortages. Invest in public services. The UK government needs to reinvest in the NHS, education, and housing. Cutting these services further would only deepen the crisis. Tackle inflation and debt. Addressing the inflation crisis is a must. This will require tightening fiscal policy and perhaps even tax reforms to reduce public debt. Attract talent and investment. The UK needs to reverse its brain drain by offering better opportunities for skilled workers and businesses. Tax incentives, innovation hubs, and improved infrastructure could help attract investment. So what does the future hold for UK? Is the UK truly on the brink of collapse? While the situation is dire, it's not necessarily hopeless. The UK has weathered many storms before, and with the right leadership and policies, it could bounce back. But make no mistake, without significant changes, the country could continue to slide deeper into economic and social turmoil. The future depends on how quickly the government acts and whether it can address the root causes of its decline. So while the UK isn't quite collapsing yet, it's definitely at a critical juncture. If you want to know how Nile River and Suez Canal are making billions of dollars for Egypt, then you should watch the video currently displayed on your screen. Goodbye, I'll see you next time, and a bundle of thanks for watching.